Welcome in to Bull versus Bear. Good morning. Hello there, Logan. How are you doing, man?
Hey, it's been a good time. I had a great night last night.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I
Sweet, bro.
stopped in Niagara Falls on my way between Massachusetts and Michigan
Ooh.
and made some bets at the casino and did pretty damn well.
Oh, yeah? Oh, that's awesome, dude.
hmm
That's great.
Yeah, it's a great game last night to watch too, man. It was a
Made some kashish?
yeah, oh yeah. I bet Mike Williams to score over 70 yards and a touchdown and Chargers +4. I did another one with Chargers +4 under 52.5 total and Palmer to get a touchdown, which again it happened in the last like 30 seconds. I was going wild. It
Woo!
was awesome.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
pretty sweet toward the end of the game. They really made a comeback there, that Chargers team.
Oh man, if it wasn't for that stupid pass by Herbert on that stick nod where he just, threw it way too late. On a stick nod, you got to throw it almost before the receiver
I,
turns around and
I
just
felt
got to
like
jump.
it was Gerald Everett's fault. It's like
It's always
I
Gerald Everett's fault.
right. I mean, he's the one who didn't turn around and run the right route right or something. But
No, he should have nodded, but once it was clear that he was going to stick, because he was the zone defender was going to be right there on the stick, so he should have nodded out to
mhm,
the outside. But the ball was to the stick route, so should have been
yeah,
thrown earlier. But that's how it goes.
that's right. Just takes one pass, and the Chiefs take it away.
Yeah, fun
Didn't
game
think
though,
that was going to
nonetheless.
happen.
I was hoping it was going to be close like it was, and I also took advantage of DraftKings has this thing sometimes where if you bet the money line, it'll automatically cash if your money line team is +7. So I took Chargers money line +160, and it hit within the first quarter. So I was I was
Nice.
already cash. Yeah.
That's awesome.
hmm
Making
Anyway,
big
so let's
bets. That's sweet.
it's the name of the
Cool.
game. So let's get into the news because I've heard there's been a lot of it this week.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, news that happened in the game last night. Let's start with that. Herbert with his big rib injury in the fourth quarter. He had to go directly into x-rays after the game, didn't talk to the media, and we should find out more hopefully today to see where he's at.
Yeah,
He's
and if you
taking some
saw the
pretty
game,
hard shots.
he pretty much landed on the other player's helmet. It wasn't like a direct shot to the ribs. It was more like a back landing on a helmet. Now, rib injuries you can't really treat. It's just time and pain. So I expect even if he has
Right.
a broken rib, he's going to play through it. He might have a flak jacket on, but he's going to play through it. It's just a pain threshold thing, and Herbert's shown his ability to stick through that kind of stuff.
Yeah, he sticks in the pocket and everything. Uh he's a pretty strong dude. Yeah, Brandon Staley, his coach, said he's okay, so seems like he'll be all right. Uh there weren't any other real injuries in the game besides McCole Hardman having some sort of undisclosed ankle injury. So we should hear more about that. Um, yeah, let's get into other injury news. Alan Lazard is at least practicing now from his ankle injury. Um, that's good because Rodgers definitely needs help going forward. And
Oh yeah,
Gallup
no
is
more.
limited in practice. No more what?
But he's practicing. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no more passes to rookie wide receivers or
Yeah.
just
Just
where'd it go?
sad.
Easy touchdown. Oh my god. That was
Yeah. J.K. Dobbins looks like he's gotten in 2 full practices. He's trending in the right direction.
But don't start him the first week he's back. It's
Yeah.
give him some time to recover, make him show it on the field. Don't start him in your lineups this week.
This is exactly why I didn't take him anywhere, because I knew it was going to be time. And as soon as he
I
was
mean,
kind
he's
of
got to,
re-injured, yeah,
if he can be the top back in the sole number one in Baltimore, I mean, they're gonna feast. So I think he does have a huge amount of upside here. So I took him because I know just the time issue, but I mean the upside is to the moon. Like he could he could definitely be a top five back if he gets that usage, even if he's splitting stuff with Jackson because they're one of the most running teams. So there's a lot
yeah,
of work to go around.
totally. Um, Kittle's still not practicing. Uh,
My groin.
yeah,
Groin
he's
injuries are
got the.
tough, man. They take a while.
It does. It does. I I pulled one in high school, and it took like
Oh god,
months. Yeah, kung fu, man. It's rough.
yikes!
Uh,
Trying to do a Jack Black kick.
yeah, my instructor stepped on my foot and punched me in the face, and well, tried to. I
What'd you do to
blocked it,
him?
went back, and just pulled my groin.
Oh
It looks like
man,
Najee Harris is practicing fully, which is good to hear. Because
I'm
throwing
surprised,
in
but
me too, and I'm worried about it as a Najee owner. Jameis Winston's getting in limited sessions with his back injury. Kamara's not practicing. He's got a rib injury. Oh man, Kadarius Baloney. Uh, he's got a hamstring issue. That's Kadarius Toney for everyone
oh
out there.
geez, wide receiver for the Giants.
Well, yeah,
Oh
if you can
man,
call him a wide receiver. I mean, the Giants seem to think he's, I don't know, a bench
running back.
warmer and a running back. Not
That's the only usage you got
really
last time.
sure.
He's
Hamler's
got
not
some talent
practicing.
though. Yeah,
Oh yeah, Kadarius Toney could be golden, man.
money.
Money, money, money. But no. Uh,
Not this week.
yeah, KJ Hamler's got a knee hip injury. He's a wide receiver for Denver Broncos. He's the
Only had
third
one target
option.
last week. Yeah,
Yeah.
only had one target last week, and he's a speedster, so
Yeah, I'm
he's
not really
struggling
holding
with
on
his
to him.
hammy.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I'm dropping him too, sadly.
Michael Pittman is injured. I don't
Really?
really recall it happening in the game, but he isn't practicing. He didn't practice on Thursday. He has a quad injury.
Could just be cramps. Never know.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely monitor that. I would keep him in my lineup until I get confirmation that he's not playing. Because I mean, he's it looks like a top 10 wide receiver, if not top five.
Looks like Mac Jones has an upset tummy.
And a
He's
backache.
not practicing. That's really what it says. That
Yeah.
is the
No,
report. So you can't.
he's also having back spasms
Yeah,
from
he's got the
that hit.
back spasms and everything. But yeah, he has an
Yeah.
upset stomach. Hopefully his mommy made him some Campbell's soup or something.
Some mac and cheese.
Just want to pinch his little patriot cheeks.
Little baby face. Yeah.
And oh, here's something interesting. For all those of you that have stashed Brian Robinson in your IR spot, he has resumed agility work,
Wow.
which
That's
is pretty
promising.
fast after
Good
being
for him.
shot in the knee. Uh,
Oh man, poor guy.
yeah. So yeah, he's doing good. I'm excited.
That's good news. Yeah.
Dak's at least a week away from any activity, says the Cowboys,
I
which
mean, he had that
is
hand surgery on Monday to fix that thumb.
right. Surprising that it would even be a week away. So that's good news because I'm not looking forward to Cooper Rush.
Yeah. I think he's just, trying to prevent a lot of Cowboys fans from, jumping off a building. That's why they're not putting him on IR because it's looking rough. for Cowboys fans right now.
Oh
Like
dear.
really rough. It's bad. I'm sorry, Cowboys fans. I mean, if you guys weren't jerks, I'd feel bad for you, but not everyone. Sorry.
Right. Gives me the willies. And then we have a trio of injuries coming out of Tampa Bay with
Oh man.
all their starting wide receivers, including Julio. So Mike Evans has the calf injury, and Godwin has the hamstring from that weird downward pass that Brady threw, and then Julio's got a knee problem. And
Yeah.
I thought it would have
Godwin's
been,
definitely going to be out. Mhm.
yeah, they got to
Mike
take it
Evans
easy
missed
on him.
practice on Yeah, Mike Evans missed practice on Thursday, and Julio is, he's old and has an injury, so it takes him a little bit longer to recover. So I am very nervous, and
And
you'll
then their
hear how it affects
fourth,
my plays.
Gage is
Hmm.
also limited. So I
Yeah,
I don't know who Brady's going to be thrown to in this game. I mean, I think Julio will be in, but everybody else could be out. I mean, this could be the Kyle Rudolph show.
I mean he was out last week, so
I thought that got canceled. Yeah, He wasn't even in. So
or
it's
Brait.
like
Yeah,
we're Brait, and
could be
then
the Brait
uh,
show.
it could be Brait. Ugh. And then Fournette is limited too. So
Yeah, and we'll get into it next, but with the game flow, I mean they're gonna need Fournette to really be there for Brady as a safety valve. Um, So with that, if that's the end of the injuries, we can jump into best bets.
yeah, let's go to best bets.
Best bets. All right. So we're gonna go right back to this Tampa Bay story. Essentially, Tom has really struggled against New Orleans the last 4 games. He's gone, if I think it's 3 for 1 or 1 for 3 against the spread. And I mean, he struggled to get anything going on offense the last game that they played. So New Orleans has Tampa
Yeah,
Bay's number. Their defense is just dominating them, and how they do it is they've been getting to Tom Brady. I mean, he's got 13 sacks in the last 4 games. They know how to get around that offensive line. Now the offensive line is depleted. Their wide receivers are depleted. Tom doesn't have a safety valve. It's not looking good. And they're in a dome at home. It's their game opener. It's going to be
yeah,
the big money here is not even on New Orleans plus points. It's on the money line. New Orleans is getting a plus 125. So for every $100 down on New Orleans money line, you get 125 plus that initial investment. So the numbers for that are looking like 40% of the players or 40% of the bettors are on that money line, but 76% of the money. Really good sign. I'm taking the money line here. If I'm feeling nervous, I might take New Orleans plus points, work them into a parlay that way.
yeah,
Even buy another half point to get it up to +3 for a parlay because it's the discount doesn't really matter as much. Um, but yeah, this is my best bet of the week right here. Is the New Orleans money line against Tampa Bay at home in New Orleans in the Superdome. What do you think about
yeah.
that, Neil?
I like it. Good call. Yeah, their defense has just been tearing them up. They don't have Armstead anymore, but their defense still looks pretty darn good. So, yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's great.
it's mostly that D line that's been doing the work too.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, I think that's a solid one. My next, so this week is going to be known for its overreactions essentially, and in some places underreactions. But we also are seeing a lot of big spreads because we have some heavily favored uh, games. So it's harder to find value in these situations. But in one game that I am finding some value still is this San Francisco versus Seattle at in San Francisco. Right now they're getting an 8.5 point spread. So that's it's pretty big.
yeah,
49% of the bettors are on San Francisco, but 69% of the money is on San Francisco. So that's a really a good thing to go off of. Now, Seattle was outgained
hmm
by Denver. They should not have won that game. It was like a pure luck. I don't know if Pete Carroll, sold his soul to the devil to win that game, but they, I mean, and I don't think I don't think that's going to be their game plan. I think they, Pete Carroll is like really feeling, personally hurt by all the comments about his prolific running and completely ignoring the passing game. So, I mean, we saw Geno Smith throwing to the tight ends a lot, but they're throwing to tight ends because they're still in those tight end sets, those two tight end sets, which are running sets. So I am expecting this running game to be back and awful. And San Francisco's got a stout defense to really prevent any gains there.
You think it's
And
going to
if
be
and if
awful?
oh yeah, Seattle's gonna be awful. Yeah, absolutely awful. I'm sorry to break
Ooh,
your heart here, um,
ooh,
but I am.
yeah. I
It's an
feel like their
overreaction.
running game. I mean, Walker may or may not play. He was limited in practice again. He kind of took a step backwards from having a full practice. Yeah. Okay. I hear what you're saying. I kind of feel like what happened with Geno Smith is that now he's actually looking at the quarterback's strengths and he's playing to them, whereas he expected Russell Wilson to do whatever he wanted because Russell could handle that, but he knows Geno can't. So now he's trying to get Geno going, and he's actually tailoring the offense around that skill set.
And I mean, I don't know what games you were watching last year. I mean, did it look like they were letting Russell cook? Because
No,
they weren't. They
no,
weren't at all.
no.
No, they saw Pete Carroll saw that he was playing against Russell Wilson, and and he's like, you know what I'm gonna do? Give the quarterback the ability to throw that I didn't do to him last year. That'll make him
Yeah,
feel great about leaving. It
right.
it felt vindictive, if anything. I mean, this is a total overreaction with Seattle. They're a terrible team. Sorry,
Yeah,
Neil.
it was very surprising that they pulled that out. And I mean, good call that they would, but if you
Yeah.
bet that one.
Oh man. And then San Francisco lost to the Bears somehow. I mean, it's just because of the torrential
Oh
rain.
man,
If
yeah,
you actually watched Trey Lance, he looked good. He made some,
bucket bowl.
he put made some really good plays. And I know they're going to be relying on Meniziev Wilson Jr., the running back for San Francisco, and a little bit of Debo, maybe a little bit of Tyrion Davis Price if they can get him in.
Yeah,
But I see San Francisco dominating this game. I see Brandon Ayuk having heavy usage here. I think it's going to be a bounce back game for him. If I wanted to, if I really think this game is going to be such a blowout, I'd put money on Ayuk over his passing or his receiving yard total, and maybe even sprinkle in a touchdown if I'm feeling lucky, and taking San Francisco minus 8.5.
you'd parlay that.
But yeah, oh
Hmm.
yeah. So now another big game here that we're looking for a bounce back, and I think it's the last game should have been at -10, and I think this game should have been at -10 too. We've got Green Bay minus 9.5 for Chicago. Chicago shouldn't have won that
Right.
last game either. They got totally lucky. And if we look at what happened to Green Bay last year, they lost their first game handedly, and everybody was like, "Time to panic! Rodgers has lost his magic."
Right.
He still has an MVP year. He still has an all time great performance. He's missing some wide receivers, but he's getting Lazard back.
Yeah. What
Maybe
I
his
will say about that game is, that ball that should have been caught by Watson was perfectly placed.
yeah,
Like it's not that Rodgers has lost a step at all. He's still amazing. So don't freak out like he's gonna
RELAX, relax, just like
relax.
last year.
Yeah. Yeah, relax. Well, I was freaking out about week 1. I mean, not to go back to the game last night, but Mike Williams showing up big time. Like, yes, Keenan Allen was hurt and wasn't in the game, and thank goodness, because my gosh, I was getting offers for trades because I have Mike Williams in like every league. Uh,
I was like, don't do it, don't do it.
yeah,
And
yeah.
luckily,
Logan said,
you
"Don't
stuck
do
with
it,"
it.
and he was totally right. I just needed to relax and realize that Mike Williams has up and down games. A lot of these guys have up and down games. You just got to ride those waves.
Exactly. And the big money has relaxed. I mean, we've got, 43% of the bettors on the Green Bay side, but 73% of the money is back in Green Bay minus 9.5. Chicago is not going to be, not going to get as lucky as last game. And again, I'm really not
Yeah.
factoring that game in much because of the
Well,
crazy conditions. It's almost like the Snow Bowl last year with the Buffalo Bills and Pats. Just
right.
ignore it.
Yeah, they're not going to have 2 feet of water on the field every game.
It's not going to be
I mean,
slip
that'd be
sliding
fun to watch,
in
but
between plays. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So I so
Yeah, I
I'm
think
looking for
Green
a
Bay
Green
is
Bay.
going to destroy
They're
them.
gonna they're gonna be out for some blood. That's for sure. And as we all know, Rodgers owns the Bears as much as they
Right.
don't want to be owned. He destroys them every week they play. So that finishes up for my top 3 best bets. It's a hard week to find a lot of value, but now I'm going to go into my leans, which I am not as I'm not as confident on, but I'm still placing bets on these games. Uh, so we're going to start out with Minnesota +2 at Philadelphia, and the money does not agree with me. The bettors don't agree with me on this. We got 50% of the bettors on the Eagles, 62% of the money on the Eagles. This is really a confidence in Minnesota offense, and also factoring in that anybody who plays my Lions is going to look really good that first week, and that
Yeah,
those 38 points are a little inflated. I don't think I don't think this is going to happen again. I think that Minnesota is a much better offense than the Lions, and if it
I
comes down
agree
to a
with
game
you
like
here.
last week, yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah, I think they're looking sweet, especially if Dalvin can get going a little bit more. I
exactly,
think they'll
control that
be
clock.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think they'll
I
win.
really like what I've
I
seen.
think that's a good
Yeah,
bet.
yeah, I think I like what I've seen from Minnesota so far, and even last year their offense was really good, which I don't think people give them as much credit as they deserve for. Um, the next one, it kind of hurts me to say this, but I'm taking Washington +1.5 against Detroit. It's the first game Detroit's been
Ah.
favored in 2 years. They haven't
Does
been
it
favored in a game in
does it hurt
two
your soul
years.
to bet against your own team? It's
Uh,
because it does to me
I can
every
tell you
time.
it doesn't hurt my wallet.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, you got to play this game
So
smart. Uh, not not as a homer. Yeah, you got it.
yeah,
Dope.
and I think and Detroit's still getting a big bump from Hard Knocks. I think a lot of people. This happens every year with the Hard Knocks team. Where we're seeing this is the 42% of the bettors are on Washington with me, and only 23% of the money. Now, if you recall last week, the Panthers had 90% of the money, and that game did not go well for them
Right.
against the Brownies,
Yeah.
who somehow won. So again, it's not a perfect indicator, but it's definitely an indicator that says, hey, maybe I should be putting as much money as I normally would, which is why it is on my lean category.
Mm.
I think Wentz shows up in games that don't matter that much, and this is one of those games. And he looked really good last week. We saw him, peppering
Yeah,
Curtis Samuel, hooking
he
up with
lit it
Terry
up.
McLaurin. I mean, it was impressive. Even Logan Thomas was getting some good action here. So I'm liking Washington's offense for now against teams like Detroit. Now, when it's a real competitor who, sorry, I'm
A
unbiased here.
real
I'm a
competitor.
huge Lions fan, but I'm trying to be straight with you guys. I think they're gonna struggle, but not in this game. Um, I could be. I hope I'm well. I don't think I'm wrong, but we'll see Sunday. It's going to be a fun one to watch. I won't be too sad if Detroit wins, but I'll hope they only win by a point.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it'll be that last minute
now,
field goal.
and yeah, the theme here has been going against my favorite teams, because the next one I'm taking and going with your least favorite team, Neil. Taking Pittsburgh +1.5 versus New England. They're in. They're at Pittsburgh. They're home dogs. So now home dogs usually do really well. And Pittsburgh defense has been stout even without TJ Watt. Um, the counter argument here is that this is a bit of an overreaction for Pittsburgh, seeing that they won that game against Cincinnati basically because Burrow was giving them the ball. They had 5 turnovers.
Right.
pretty much all of them on Burrow. So
Four
this,
interceptions. Yeah. Whew.
yeah, it was bad. So I don't expect Mac Jones to be throwing that many interceptions. I don't expect as many fumbles or any fumbles really.
But he's got a hurdy
But
tummy. You think he's going to
I,
play?
I don't know. Maybe no. I think mac and cheese is going to be stale. I think
Mm.
yeah. I don't have confidence in the Patriots offense at this point. I think that the Pittsburgh defense is it's much better prepared at home as an underdog. I mean, these are classic things that you go back to as like home dogs perform better than they're expected. Um, Now, 61% of the bettors agree with me, but only 29% of the money. So that's a big caution flag. Be careful here. Um, but
Oh, you're not betting the house on it then.
no, not betting the house on this. I
Yeah.
am probably not going to put it in parlays with other games. It's just a standalone. I could be wrong easily on this one. But I'm seeing New England's struggles are at cornerback, and I think Pittsburgh has the weapons there. I think Mitch Trubisky is a little underrated. I think he's a proficient enough passer to get the job done. I think Claypool, Deontay Johnson, and maybe
Yeah.
Pickens. I don't know. Uh, they're good enough to beat these cornerbacks, and if they have to throw, they will. And if Najee's out, they'll definitely be throwing, and I think that favors their game, honestly. So I'm sitting here taking Pittsburgh plus 1.5 at New England or versus New England. What about you? What do you
I'm
think?
with you. That's absolutely one of mine as well. I really think the defense for Pittsburgh, even if they're missing TJ Watt, that's okay. They still looked awesome last week. And in all my redraft leagues, I tried to get Pittsburgh's defense after what happened last week. I don't feel like I'm chasing. I mean, I am chasing those points, but I don't feel like it's a stretch. Like I saw not just one or two guys on their team making big plays. It was the whole unit. And as soon as I see that and a team on fire like that, that's who I'm shooting for. So yeah, I'm willing to make that bet as well. I think they will be able to handily take care of. I mean, New England's got problems. I mean, it's obvious on the field.
Yeah,
And we don't know what's going on with the running backs. We don't really know what's going on with their wide receivers. Like their tight ends are not performing well. Like nothing is happening on that team. And if
it's mediocrity everywhere.
yeah, yeah, I think you're right. The mac and cheese is stale.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's overbaked and dry
Good
and
call. Well,
stale.
we'll
Yep.
see how those turn
All
out.
right,
We'll review your bets again next week, but I think you got some good calls there.
man. Well, it's going to be a fun week. I'm looking forward to the games. I hope they go as well as they did last night. But for fantasy,
Yeah,
it's also exciting. But I'm also staying away from New England in fantasy completely. Just staying away. Not worth
yeah,
it.
yeah. I'm worried about Ramondre. I mean, what the good news is that Ty Montgomery is. It's not good news for Ty Montgomery, but he's hurt. He's out of the games, and he had a lot of running back usage last week, which you called a few weeks ago,
He's a
and I didn't
he's a
want to
wide
believe.
receiver turned running back. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, and now he's out, so I think Ramondre is going to get more work this week in the running and the passing game, and could actually, get you 8 or 9 points. But uh, I'm not calling for touchdowns. And even Harris said what a 10% target share last week, so he's getting work in the passing game too.
Exactly. There's no standout, so there's nothing to.
No, it's very
No.
confusing.
That's what Bill Belichick loves, even if he's
Yeah,
confused too. Yep.
he's been doing that
All
to me
right.
all my
Well,
life.
anything else to add, Neil?
Um, I'm I think actually Houston Denver game is interesting because the margin is so high. It's at 10 points.
I think it's
So
10.5
Houston's,
in some places.
yeah, it's plus 10, and I would actually go Houston on that. I think they can keep it within 3 or 7. Even 10.
Yeah, Mills
You
is
can get
underrated. I
10.5.
would, yeah, exactly. If you can find 10.5, that's what you want to do. 10 is again one of those really strong numbers where you want to. I mean, we got 3, 6, 7, 10. Those are the key numbers in fantasy or football betting. So if you
Yeah,
can get over 10.5, you're taking those points. Great, I would go for it. I think yeah,
totally.
Houston's again very underrated team. Mills is a competent quarterback. Denver's still getting their stuff together. I didn't really, see as much as I wanted to last week against Seattle. It was very underwhelming. So yeah, I think it's a great bet.
Yeah, it seems like the the feeling for the situation is what got to Russell Wilson. And
Yeah,
I don't trust their coaching staff, not after the mistakes that they just made,
yeah.
proving to me
Oh
that they
man.
don't actually know what they're doing. It made absolutely no sense to go for that kick to win the game from 62 yards when they had all that time and Russell Wilson and
Mm-hmm.
Javante and Melvin Gordon.
Well, Ryan Clark made a really good point this week on ESPN where he was basically saying, revenge games are great for, very physical positions, but when it's more cerebral, when it's more of a mental game, like at quarterback, the build
Yeah,
up is hindering. It distracts essentially, so it's not a benefit. And I think that, I think Denver will win this game, but I think 10.5 points is too many points
yeah,
to be favored by.
cool.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you here. Awesome.
All right.
Well, I think that about wraps it up for us in this betting show. We'll be back soon.
Thanks, everybody, and good luck. Break some legs.
Have fun. Good luck with your bets.
Yeah.
Bye.